back to the video. My name is Jasmine with the Me and My Duke podcast. Our mission is to bring vision and connection back to families through meaningful conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And now, on to the episode.
Hey
guys, welcome back to the
How y'all doing?
Thanks
Back
for
to
Hope you
being
guys are
here.
having a good week so far.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for
Yes, for tuning in,
subscribing.
commenting, all your prayers, all your thoughts.
Yes,
we really
all your
appreciate it. So
engagements.
keep it up.
Yep.
Keep it up.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, but
We really
jumping right
appreciate
into it.
Huh?
Jumping right into it. I didn't cut you off.
Jumping right into it. So go ahead. What are we talking about? So this conversation is basically a little bit stemmed from some of what we spoke last week when we was talking about how different people's behavior in the family can affect other people, their moods
family
and stuff. So
dynamics.
which led us to this discussion.
Yes, today we're talking about, once you get to that age, whether you're going out to college or you feel like it's time to take that step and move out of the home. Today we're going to be talking about how those kind of decisions can kind of affect the family, how to approach it, how to navigate these things, and even our experiences with it. So, starting off,
I think is a good conversation to have because I think that when, especially from the parents' perspective, when your children leave, you assume or you have a certain expectation. And sometimes you really don't go into what that expectation is, and then you're navigating it as it happens, which brings a lot of confusion and hurt feelings. And of course, unspoken expectations always lead to disappointments. So I think that's a good reason why you should have this conversation prior to whether it's your child leaving and getting an apartment or going off to college or going to the military or traveling abroad or just doing some type of activity or embracing some type of lifestyle that will require them being away from home for an extended amount of time.
when I was in New York, the guy that oversaw everything and met with us, his one saying or one of his favorite sayings was, "To be kind is to be clear." No, to be clear is to be kind. And that basically means like, don't leave anything open for interpretation and be clear in what you're saying. Don't be vague. So you're being kind in doing that so that you're conveying to the other people what you're trying to convey and that they understand what you're saying.
Right.
So that kind of goes along with what you were saying. Like a lot of times, if we're going along with that saying, a lot of people aren't being kind because they're not being clear with their expectations and stuff. And like you said, that could lead to a lot of unnecessary disappointment and hurt and frustration.
Yeah. On both ends.
Both ends, right?
Yeah. Because I understand this is a particular time where you might feel as a young person that you're trying to establish your independence.
Yeah.
And whereas sometimes most people will say, let a child go or let them have a good time. They can't stay with you forever. I think from the parents' perspective is you have this child that you basically, in a lot of ways than others, you have placed your life on hold so you can care for this child almost every single day of their life, whether they might be 17 or 18. Can you imagine doing something for 17 or 18 years and then one day waking up and you don't have to do that thing anymore. That person is not dependent on you. Because even as you enter into teenage years, the dependency wanes a little bit, but then you're still needed. And then this person moves completely away from you. I think what young adults need to realize is that as much as it's embracing a new season of independence for them, it's for their parents is releasing something that they have become one with over years upon years, So having that conversation about what that detachment is going to look like for everyone, for the parents and for siblings, what it's going to look like and what kind of boundaries you're going to set.
Yeah. And can I just say from my, speaking from like the child's perspective, you were saying our parents put their lives on hold to raise this child for 18 years. And I just want to say from our perspective, just so that we offer both sides, you know?
Right.
And just looking at it from our perspective, we don't really remember what the first 3 years of our life.
Right.
And so we kind of look at it just like, oh, I'm here with this parent figure. We don't really see the sacrifices that y'all have to make. We don't see the attachment that from you guys' end. We know
Right.
like we need you guys.
Yeah.
We're dependent on you guys. We love you guys, but we don't see how emotionally invested you guys are.
Yes.
And but we know it, but we don't see it. So we
Right.
don't really. It doesn't really weigh on us.
Factor into things.
Yeah. So when it's time to move out, and certain things that parents say or do, sometimes it can be conveyed as, oh, you're trying to control us. You're still trying to baby us. We want our independence, and I just wanted to offer that side too.
I'm on my phone. That's why, because I'm writing it down so I don't forget. I think it is. I agree with you guys. It's very, very important to have a conversation. I feel like whoever in the family is leaving, I feel like it's very important to sit down with everybody at once and tell them, let them know what's going on, who's going where, what's going on, what it's going to look like. But I also feel like every single individual in the family is different, and they're going to process it in a different way. So I feel really strongly about, once you get done having the group conversation, you one-on-one, you level set with
That's good.
everyone.
Oh man, that's good.
And because I'm just thinking about, of course, the situation with Daniel when he was going to the Navy. It affected Jonathan different. It affected me different. It affected Jasmine. And if you sit down once again, like, and let them know, I just feel like that will help a little bit more in individually speaking. So.
Yeah, because like what I was saying before we started rolling is we had our own expectations of how it would look when Daniel went away, and we kind of assumed that's exactly how it would look. But we quickly realized once he was gone, that's not at all how it was. And by then, it was a little too late because Daniel was already gone. So we just had to like roll around until we figured out and got our flow, got our balance back. But that was really rough, and that could have been avoided.
And continuing with what I was saying, I forgot. So, but it's coming back. So, the roles, once again, which comes into play what we were talking about last episode, the roles of what people play is important when you're sitting down and telling them, because Daniel, in our eyes, Daniel would pick us up from school. Daniel was the oldest brother. We would come
Help us
to
with
him.
our homework.
He would help us with our homework whenever he could, as much as he could. He was the one that famously was always getting in trouble.
Yeah, he took all the
Attention was on Daniel. What are we gonna do about Daniel? What's going on? So that when he left, it was like the space was left wide open, and we kind of felt exposed to a certain point. But
and he brought a lot of noise to the house.
that
did,
too,
yes.
that too. It was very, very
noise
quiet
and
when he left.
excitement.
Because naturally, he's not the type of child that can, or person. He's not the type of person that sits quiet. He likes engagement.
Yeah.
You know, he likes, if he's around, everybody got to be involved, engaged. He's, checking on everybody.
He run
He's
off and
joking
randomly
around.
hit somebody.
Yeah, he finds a way to connect with everyone that he's
Right.
around. So, so a little bit of the noise and the excitement in the house left when
A
he
lot of
left.
it.
I think, like we were talking about, like what you should do in preparation. I think the biggest thing is just like having a conversation, like even like Jada said, like just one-on-one with each person in that family, and like lay the details out, like what this may look like, all the questions you may have, because I know when Daniel left,
Yeah.
like I knew he was leaving and stuff like that, but we never had like a deep conversation about like okay, this amount of time and how it would look like if we talked, or what it would look like, or
How we can stay in
or-
touch.
or just how I would like really feel, or how I would really be affected by it. So I feel like that should be something y'all should consider.
Yeah, and I know you might say, why? Why bother? Like, why do it? Why go through all this of having a conversation with this person, that person,
Right.
this
It's
person?
gonna happen anyways.
You know, exactly, because it's gonna happen anyway. And then it's gonna happen when you least expect it, and it's gonna come out in different ways. And one of the ways how it's gonna come out is like this: parent calling child. I haven't heard from you. Like, what's going on? What are you doing? And the parent and the child could be like, I just went to classes today, and then I came back home. I'm hanging out with some friends. Why are you bothering me? Why are you calling me? And then friction starts to happen right there.
Yeah.
Right. Or one sibling is at home, and that sibling is just like, I don't hear from my brother anymore, or I don't hear
Yeah.
from my sister anymore. Maybe they don't love me anymore. I have to find a new friend someplace else.
Maybe they forgot
right?
about me.
Maybe they forgot about me. They move on and they left me behind. And a lot of times when children leave for college, they're not necessarily coming back home. Like, the reality is, when they leave for college, they go to college for 4 years. They might end up living in a different state. They might come back and go straight to work and get their own place and own apartment because they've established a certain amount of independence. And now they don't feel like they can move back in. And or even they went away to the military and they come back. I remember when Daniel first come back, he was like, I can't come live with you. I gotta find my own place. And I was like, no, you can come stay with us until you get, situated. But all these things happen, and then everyone is left to their own assumptions. Whereas when Jasmine was leaving for New York, for a couple
2
weeks, when she was leaving for New York, because we had this foresight, we had already prepared. The way how I prepared myself was, I made sure that I made notes for her every day throughout the time that she was gone, and every day she would have a note to come back in. That made me feel like I had some point of communication, even if I didn't talk to her by phone. I felt good talking through day 1, day 2, day 3. Hope everything's going well. Make new friends, stay encouraged, and encouragement, scriptures. And then I had some of her friends do the same thing. So she would hear messages from not only from me, but also from her friends.
And my siblings.
And her siblings, right? Like everybody who loved her for the most part. So in leaving, she would have a part of home with her, because what we haven't spoken about yet is how the person that's away.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to go into.
That's coming next. But I did that for me. And then we had a conversation that we'll talk in the evenings. Maybe we'll check in the evenings, because the mornings you might be getting up, going to work, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And then just touch base, touch point, text, whatever, and I was going to try my best not to be overprotective. As long as your location is on, I could see certain things.
That was your approach?
That was my thing.
Okay, we'll get into that in a minute.
But listen, your location was on. Your location said 19 hours away or something like that. I was like, well, that's no good. That's no good. But for me, having that hindsight from Daniel, I know that the biggest thing that brought me the most peace was prayer. So I leaned in to pray, cover you, and trust God, and that helped me more than anything else. Yeah. And then when you initiated a call with me, when you call and say, hey, Mom, I'm just doing this, that was very thoughtful. Right. And that was very nice. And those are small things that you can do as a young adult, leaving away from home for your parents. Matter of fact, I think is the most considerate thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Knowing that your parent has spent so much investment in you, they're emotionally invested. Think about when you have a best friend from middle school or for the last couple of years, and now all of a sudden you wake up and they're gone, you're not going to feel well. Your parent has an emotional connection with you. And I think the considerate thing to do is make time to check in. I know that you may be getting used to new life, but the responsibility of not just the responsibility of being a part of a family, which one day you might be a husband or a wife, is even in your areas of development still thinking about those that love you.
Yeah, and I think piggybacking on that, I just want to say, from the kid's perspective, when you look at your parents that are going through it, remember you're not the only one going through it. Your mom or your dad, they're going through it as well, and that just it brings me back to the time when Daniel was away, and it was one Christmas we were at Granny's house, and Daniel called,
I was just thinking about.
and we were all like, "Hey, Daniel, what's going on?" And then mommy gave the phone to us, and she was like, "Y'all take this call," and we go to the other room, we take it, and we come back, and mommy is just like, she's crying, like she's just full on bawling, and I knew she was going through it too, but it's like at that moment it really hit home that wow, she's processing this the same way that we are. And so I just want to let you guys know that your parents may not get it right away, they may be going through it too, and just be understanding and just know that this is something that you guys are all going to have to handle, and just just go into it with that mindset.
Yeah, and as mommy was just talking about just the small things like making those calls and stuff, I was writing down it's all about exercising, not just thinking about yourself. Like we get it, you want your
Yes.
independence, you're away from home, there's a lot of new things to see, a lot of new things to navigate, but think about it from your parents' perspective. They sacrificed, like mama was saying, pretty much their life to raise you and to bring you up. And now it's your turn to sacrifice your time and your energy to reach out to these people that love you and they just want to make sure you're doing well, even if it's 10 minutes, maybe once a week, twice a week, whatever feels right to you. As long as you're reaching out and making those calls, letting them know, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on, just keeping them informed. And those small things, like you said, really make a big difference.
Again, it's being considerate. You know,
Yeah.
and even if you sit down with your parents and you say, okay, I'm leaving, I'm going to call twice a week. I'm going to call midweek and I'm going to call on Saturday. Believe you me, your mom, that phone is going to be attached to her hip, making sure she does not miss that Saturday call.
Yeah.
Right? And that way, too, you're not feeling bad throughout the week because you haven't called, and she's not thinking that have you fall off the face of the earth, but she has something to look forward to, right? And you don't have to feel like I have to call in every 5 minutes or every 5 seconds. She has something to look forward to. And so does your siblings. You know,
Yeah.
the siblings that's left behind, they have something to look forward to. I know they might be at school or whatever, and but I'll talk to them. And when you do talk to them, you share a little bit about your life, but you also
Let them-
inquire about theirs.
Yeah.
What is going on? What am I missing? What's new? What's important to you? You know, and that way you are still being connected, because once you realize that after your first couple weeks or semester of being away from home, it can be lonely, you know,
Yeah.
as much as you may be surrounded around other people. If you come from a family that you're close with, you might still have a sense of loneliness. These little things help you feel connected, and it also helps you feel grounded because you're gone and you're exposed to a lot of things that you probably wasn't exposed to at home.
Yeah.
And you have to navigate a lot of nuances while you're alone. And so having that connection back home kind of is almost like a tap in for a pulse check for where I've come from, who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting like plugged into the source.
It's like you plug in back to the source for a minute. You hear your mom and your dad or siblings telling you don't do this or do that or call me if you need me or whatever. Is that reassurance, and it does a lot more for you than you actually think.
yeah, and if you think about it, it's kind of like you're there for that moment in time.
Yeah. John, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah. I agree with all that. I'm waiting for there was a second part to this question when you first asked it, right? There was two parts. You said how we prepare, and then you said something else too. Or did you forget already?
I can't remember. I think we say, how do you prepare to leave home? And how it just affects everybody. How it affects the people
that what you're
being
talking
home and the people
so we
going
didn't talk
off.
about the other person.
Oh, that's what you're waiting
Yeah.
for, the other person's
Oh,
perspective.
the other person. Yeah, the other person's
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, I'm waiting to
That's
get
a
into that
hard
too.
perspective for me to talk. Okay, I think I can go way back in time when
Way
I
back
first
when?
came to America, right? And I left my parents back home. I can talk from that perspective. I don't know if you guys can talk from the other's perspective. It would have been good to have Daniel here in this episode.
Yeah.
I
But,
can.
you can?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were going.
She's
All
still
right, I'm gonna go
thinking.
first. I'm gonna go very briefly.
No, I know it. But
I'm gonna be very brief. When I first came to America, and I think, wow,
Did you come from a close family?
yeah, we were pretty close. Me, my mom, and my younger brother.
you
You
know,
know?
were you asking for them or you? But,
Yeah, I was asking for them.
Okay.
But this is the thing. Now that we're having this conversation, I realize that I may have had some selfish moments, y'all.
See, when you think about it, like
Now that I think back about it, I think I may have had some selfish moments.
but you were coming back with a kid, right?
Yeah, I
With
was
a
coming
son.
away with a kid, so I had to get used to
Leaving,
a
yeah.
whole new culture.
So you had
And,
your own different.
Yeah,
N-
and I
struggles
had
and
a
stuff.
husband, that I was getting used to. So, excuse me, I had to get used to that new environment, new culture, new family, people that
I cannot
didn't
imagine doing
know. That was a lot for me to get used to. And then my biggest reason for not communicating initially as much as I wanted to, I was staying with my in-laws. And it was a little bit different. When we first came, we had to, of course, figure out jobs and stuff like that. And they threatened the mess out of, do not use this phone to make international calls. So mine was like a little bit different from you guys, because making international calls, I remember at one point when we did move into our own place, I was like, oh, I'm gonna call my mom whenever I want to. So I was calling my mom like she was living across the street. And AT&T sent that bill. It was $1,900. Woo! I said, "Oh my God, what did I do?" AT&T, if you're watching, I was very, very young.
That's a lot of money.
But you knew it costed money. You just didn't know it was
I
that.
just knew it was gonna be like that. I didn't know I was calling that much. I was calling her every 5 seconds, because at this
How
point, I
long were
had
these
my own-
calls?
Some of them were. I was talking like I was talking to the person across the street.
Oh my
I
god!
was talking for like 15, 20, 30 minutes.
AT&T
I
was just like,
every minute, cha-ching. And then it's when I learned about cards, like calling cards. Like you got to call
I
in
used to
these
hear her
calling
talking about that. I
cards.
had no
me
idea.
too.
I was like,
put
just
some
call
money
them.
on this card. And I was like,
No,
what?
yes,
Money
put
on the card. How does that
So
work?
what is weird with the calling card? $5 would get you 30 minutes.
Ooh.
But 30 minutes on AT&T. Well, you didn't actually get 30 minutes. They tell you were getting 30 minutes, but you got like 24 because the call would always cut off. But it was still better than calling direct from AT&T.
True, yeah.
So that was one of the things. But another reason why
God for
I
WhatsApp
didn't
today.
call as much is because I felt like if I heard my mom, I would just break down crying. And that would give her more things to worry about. So I was
Aw.
trying to be considerate in not stressing her out, and then I just think that I was overwhelmed with everything that I had to learn at the same time. So, guys, I get it.
I think that's where most people can relate to that. Not wanting the parents to feel worried, or not wanting the parents to hear them cry, or feel like they're missing home.
Yeah, because I used to cry every night. I used to be like, I used to cry every night. I missed my mom. I missed my country. It was
man.
just a lot to get used to culture wise. So that was a rough time for me. But now that I'm thinking back, I can see how my mom probably was worried about me.
Well, you can see from both sides.
Yeah, now I can see from both sides.
This is off topic, but did you ever, when you first moved here, did you ever think that you would be where you are right now? Did you ever see yourself here?
No. 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 Shoot, I didn't see myself having twins. Much less. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see myself having Jonathan on my birthday. Life definitely took on a different path. But now I can see how God was preparing me for this all along. I can see how my life led me to where I am, and how everything that I've walked through or have been through has now led to the type of mother that I am.
Yeah.
I remember Daniel telling me some of the things he was telling me about how he felt when he was away in Japan. And I was just like, really? Like, you really felt like that? That's so crazy to me. Like, I would never even think that he felt like that, but he was, and that opened the eyes of me a little bit. Like wow, like even though, and that's how you know it's the enemy, because like even though you know, like he knows that we love him and he knows that we miss him and everything, he was still having those thoughts like, oh, if people forgot about me,
Yeah,
oh, they
wow.
don't love me, do they love me? Like, and it just make you like, wow, like you really had those thoughts. Like,
So he really had those thoughts, even though we were telling him that we love him and we miss him. He was still feeling like we were moving on without him and we didn't miss him. And like you said, those are the thoughts of the enemy, you
Yeah.
know, those are the lies of the enemy that could lead you to depression and isolation. And I would say in those times is when you call home, you know. But I also know he was on a different time zone. His night was our day and our day was his night. So sometimes figuring out calling was like, I don't want to wake him up or, you know, stuff like that.
It was tricky.
But now you know that there were, now that with hindsight, we know that there were additional things. We've sent packages and stuff like that. But
Letters.
we could have shoot more text messages or,
Yeah.
you know, learn from our mistakes. Because the person that's away from home, even though they may not tell you, they may have feelings or moments. So I'm gonna pause this episode right now to play this game real quick. It's gonna be fun, right? Okay. So this is how the game goes. I am going to ask you guys on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? You're gonna think of a number of how you feel, and then I'm gonna assume based on what I know how you feel, right? So 1 is going to be, I feel really bad and horrible. 10 is going to be I'm good. I'm in a good space mentally, emotionally, and everything else, right? So think about that. Jonathan, what number you think you are? Keep it in your head, right? Mentally, where you think you're at right now, emotionally, and everything.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. You do the same, Jada. You do the same, Jasmine. And I'll do it.
And we're going to be guessing for other people as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you guys have a number in your head, let me know.
I got my number.
I got it.
Okay. So we got to think about who's going to go first. I can't remember.
Who's going to say the number first or who's going to guess?
Who's going to
for other
ask somebody else their number, where they feel like they're at? I must go with Jonathan. Jonathan, I feel right now on a scale of 1 to 10, I think you're a solid 8. What do you think he is?
people? I think he's a 6 or 7.
Yeah, I say 6.
What do you say?
7.
7?
Hey.
Okay, so you seven.
Why is it
Okay.
7?
Yeah.
Because it's 7, I'm okay. I'm good. I just woke up a little while ago, so but I'm okay. Like you settle, like I'm settling in. Like you know, after you wake up a little bit, you settle it in a little bit.
Yeah. But right now in your life, you feel like you're at a good place.
In my
mentally.
life?
Mentally
That
and
was to life or
emotionally.
that was today.
Yeah, that was your life.
That was your life. Like
Life.
mentally and emotionally, where you at, where you would say you're at. So Jonathan did this wrong. He was talking about today.
Life.
Okay, you think about it. I'm gonna go to Jada next. Jada, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would think that you are a 7. I would think you're a good 7. What do you think?
I think you're a 5.
She's a 5. Oh wow. What do you think?
John?
No,
Oh, he
I'm
didn't guess
thinking, I think you're 8.
What did mommy guess?
I said 8. I said
5.
7.
8,
I said-
7, and 5.
Mhm.
5? You think I'm at a 5?
Yeah.
Why do you think she's at a 5?
Because I know you're unhappy right now with your current job situation right now. You wish you could go back. You're tired. You're overworked. You're not in the best conditions and stuff. And you're away from us a lot. And you don't really like that. So I just feel like that's where you would be right now.
I would say right now I'm at a 7.
Okay.
Yes, I am unhappy, but I also know that I ended in the process of ending things. I have a couple more weeks.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
push through.
true.
I'm gonna finish strong.
Yes.
I'm gonna end things on a good note. And I know that after that, I'm gonna be back. I'm not gonna be missing church, which was my main thing.
Yeah.
I've grown so attached to church. I'm not gonna be away from you guys as much. Yeah, I may not be making the same money, but I know I will in the future. And I don't have bills or anything that I have
And
to
for
pay
your
right
sanity and mental
now.
health.
Yeah, and for my mental health, like that was. But yeah, I'm pretty happy right now.
You're a solid 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Jasmine, I would say you're probably a solid 8 right now.
You said 8 for everybody.
No,
oh,
I
they
said
7
8.
for Jada.
I said 7 for Jada.
Okay.
But it's my number.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
For
good.
sure,
I
yeah.
said 8. What you say?
I say 9.
What you say, John?
I say 7.
John's
You're
was the
happy,
closest.
Jasmine.
I got mine at 6.
You
6?
what?
Yeah, I just this past month, I just feel like I've been so tired. Just, I mean, yeah, I just
all
been,
our scaling things are, all of our scaling
Are
measurements are off.
yeah, but
But it's still your number though.
and I just feel like I'm not fulfilling what I'm supposed to be fulfilling right now, and my prayer life has been off, which can throw everything else off. Like the main thing that's in my mind right now is I have all of this equipment. Like I have my camera, I have my computer now, I have everything that I need, and I just feel anxious because I'm not doing what
I
I'm
feel
supposed to
that
be
way
doing right
too.
now. And I've been doing things for other people, but I haven't really been doing anything for myself. And on top of that, working so much, and I feel like the fact that I'm working is pulling me away from what I could be doing for my own personal stuff. And I have to find the balance. There's a lot going on in my head right now. And I have so many ideas and I have so many things planned out and written out, and it's just executing them that I have to do. But I just got to find the time, make the time to do it.
Well, instead of doing nothing, just do one thing. You don't have to do it all. Just choose one thing of the million things that you have written out and do one of it, and you're going to feel like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
And big things happen from small movements.
That's
you
true.
know. And I'm sad to hear that you feel that way, but like I said, just plan out what you already have the stuff written out. Just take one thing so that you can start with the easiest thing, so that you can feel momentum. You can gain momentum. After you do that one thing, you're going to feel good, and it's going to inspire you to do the next thing.
Hey, when you say
And
gain
then,
what?
momentum.
Oh.
Don't do me on this podcast. But so this is the thing. Y'all always telling me I don't use my regular voice when I'm talking on here. I always put on. And that's the reason why, because I be trying to say
I'm
things in a
sorry.
certain way.
You're doing so
'cause I
good. You're
know
doing so
y'all
good.
Are gonna,
You are
y'all
doing
gonna
so
be like, that's not how you say this, so y'all gonna make fun of me. So that's why I always be like, oh, But I'm trying more to relax into this thing
You are.
and
You
be
got it
my
really
more
good.
authentic self. But that's what I would say to you if you're feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be, start with some type of action into that direction.
Yeah.
Start
Start
with
with your
editing
prayer.
my video.
You know what I'm saying? Start with your prayer life. That's gonna give you the
Yeah.
first thing. Even
I
if
start with my prayer life first.
even
Thank
if
you
it's
very
not
much.
the amount of time or all that stuff, just start with just a simple before you go to bed, just a few words to God before you go to bed. Just invite Him back into your day and your schedule and stuff like that. So I'm gonna come off of that super. I'm gonna come see you after this. I'm gonna pray first, and then I'm gonna come see you and get some wisdom for you. All right.
Okay, now you.
Huh?
Now your number.
No, he got to go back
Oh,
to him
back to
because he
him.
played it wrong. Jonathan, what's your number?
Wait, we gotta
7.
guess. Oh.
7. I said you were 7 or I said you were 8.
You said he was an 8.
I
I
said
said
he
he was
was
6.
Oh, so you were 7. So your number
Yeah.
really was the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it
It was the same. Okay, why is it 7?
Factoring everything.
because it's good. It's progressing. It's not like it's in a bad spot right now. It's just I know I want to be doing more. There's more things I want to be doing, and it's just gonna take some discipline and some time just to get to where I want to do it. But that's the only reason why, because I have these, like Jasmine said, I had these ideas and these things I want to do, and I just need to execute it. I've been making small little steps and in the direction of things I want to do. But it's just
But
the
don't those
other
small
part.
little steps still make you feel good?
Yeah, that's why I said 7.
Sounds like I should have been talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number right now.
Wait, we gotta guess it.
I think
Oh yeah, y'all gotta
the
guess
number
it.
is 7.
7.
7 is a lucky number.
I
7.
say
Okay.
7.
7. Okay.
8.
I am at a 6.
I didn't want to go too low, but I was thinking it.
I am at a 6, and for reasons that I wouldn't go into, but there's some things that's just have my spirit a little bit unsettled, you know.
Easy.
But I know that God is working on my behalf. I know that all things are working together for my good. And I have a head knowledge, like head knowledge and spiritual knowledge. I'm probably like about a 9. Emotionally, I'm about a 6. I just have to take time, because even though you know the truth and you're standing on the word and you believe in it, sometimes you have to allow your emotions to go through
Yeah.
process, right? So even though I know I'm not feeling all bursting with excitement and everything like that, I still feel good, you know, because I still feel like there's hope. I still feel like God is good. I still feel like at the end of whatever this is happening right now, I know that the testimony is going to be great, right? So, but that's the reason why I'm feeling a little bit, you know, less
Feeling
than
heavy?
normal, a little bit heavy, right? But I trust God. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I trust God, and I know that God is with me, and I know that He's with all of us, you know. And I know that I've been through things before where I trusted God on the outcome, and He was faithful. And I've seen His faithfulness enough to know that He's still faithful. You know, so that's the reason why I would say. But the point of doing this whole exercise was to show you that you can look at someone and assume they're one place emotionally, but they're at a different place. Reality is they're at a different place. And that's the same with siblings and people that move away from home, right? The sibling that's away could think that the siblings at home, you're still home with mommy and daddy, you get everything, you all right. But that sibling may be going through some things because they're missing you.
And maybe the other
Right.
siblings that stayed home are thinking, "Oh, you're away, you're living it up, you're having so much fun."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only to know that you're facing your own struggles and you're facing your own thing. And this is the reason why it's so important for us to check in. And regardless of
Yeah.
what we think in our heads, is important that we keep each other covered in prayer. Because we have what we think, but that may not be facts or factual in that person's life. You know,
Yeah.
they might actually be going through some things, processing through some things, you know. And I know I saw a survey that said that some of the people that look the happiest commit suicide.
Yeah.
You know,
That look the happiest and have the most things, most money and stuff. Yeah.
right. So I think
Makes
it's
sense.
clear that we're not able to truly gauge other people's where they're at just by looking at them. And that's the same thing for your parent, and that's the same thing for your child that may be away from home. It might seem as if they're living the life and having a ball and having a good time, but you don't know their sad moments, right? And you don't know what they're actually going through. So as a parent, I would say try to have realistic expectations. Try to share what you may expect from your child, but at the same time, try to understand that they are navigating something that is new too. And even if it looks as if they're having a good time, or even if it looks as if they're going above and beyond to fit in
Everything
or to
is
have
not what
new
it seems.
friends and all this stuff, they're just trying to find their footing in life too. They're just trying to find their way. They're just trying to establish independence. And it looks different for everybody.
And you can use the game we just played to check in with them. Like, ask them to think about a number where they are mentally and spiritually and stuff like that. And you can tell them what number you think they are, and then they can tell you what number they think you are, and then you guys can really give your true numbers. And then that can be a conversation starter. "Oh, I thought you were higher than that. What's going on?" And just, that'd be a good way to check in on somebody.
Exactly.
That's some good insight. That's some good insight. And it's important that you know, or you have an idea. And even if they don't want to go into why they're whatever number they are, at least you have an idea how to pray.
Yeah.
And you have an idea that, oh, they may be going through some things, or, you know.
And asking somebody to give a number on a scale is sometimes easier than asking them what's wrong and them having to explain and go through this and go through those feelings. And sometimes they might not want to do that, so they just say a watered down version, or
Yeah.
just I'm good, or just something.
And it's different. It's different than asking somebody like every week, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Like, no, give me a number. It's yeah, because then if you're just asking those generic questions every time, I feel like the answers, like you said, can get generic, watered down.
And then it becomes
Yeah,
just, oh,
like
I'm
a
good.
routine.
And it's not authentic, you know.
Yeah.
And I think asking somebody what number they are forces that person to check in on themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like, what am I really feeling right now?
Right.
Am I good? Am I, you know, it really forces them to check in with who they are. And like you said, Jonathan, it can make them be a little bit more authentic in their response instead of I'm good. Because I've known people, I know they were going through things, and I was like, how you doing? And they're like, I'm good.
I'm good. Right.
No, I mean it. When I mean it. How are you? And they're like, well.
And it lets them know you're not just asking just to ask, but you're asking because you genuinely want a number. You genuinely want to know how they are. It's not transactional.
And making them know, too, that if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. Just tell me what number you are.
Right.
And that way
we'll
you know how to
that.
pray for them. You know, to keep them in your thoughts. And, if there is something you can do to make them feel better, then that's your opportunity right there. Whether it's buying their favorite ice cream, whether it's giving them a massage, whether it's sending them some jokes from Instagram, whatever it is, you know that, hey, I could possibly cheer this person up. I don't know what they're going through. Because that's the thing, too. Sometimes we always feel like we got to know. You don't have to know the details to make somebody feel better or to pray for them. You just have to know that there's an undercurrent, there's something happening there, and I can add some joy to their life or some positivity or whatever the situation is.
Totally.
Yeah, but we heard from your perspective of going away. Jada, you said you had something you want to say?
Oh, yeah. I didn't go out of the country or anything for weeks on end, but when I went to school,
Where did you go to school?
I went to school in St. Augustine, First Coast Technical College for culinary arts.
Probably about 45 minutes away.
Yeah. I was so used to being with Jasmine every single place I go, pretty much, and being with her at school for the past 18 years. So the thought of being without her and being without anybody, driving myself to school every day, it was very daunting, to say the least. The least. Yeah, that word. And I always feel so dramatic when I say it, but it's the truth. I miss my sister so much, and there was a point where I thought I couldn't do it, but I'm so proud of myself for taking the initiative and doing it, because when I did it, it was the best thing I could have done. And I had so much fun, and it gave Jasmine and I something to talk about. When I got home, I was like, "Hey, I did this at school." And she's like, "Hey, I did this at work, and we did this and this and this." And that was my experience. And it wasn't. I think the thing that really helped me was that I wasn't gone for weeks on end. I went for a couple hours and came back, and so that was me.
Wow. So if you felt that way about your sister, think about how a mom that's parallel to how a parent feels, I think dads feel it to some degree, but they maneuver things a whole lot differently. But that's how a mom feels. You literally feel like I gotta breathe new life back into me, because this person is gone into this world, and I'm not going to see them for a while, and they're far away, or even if they're near, I have to respect this new boundaries that they're stepping into. I can't hold a hand across the street, I have to let them figure things out. So.
Yeah, when you started going to school, I was kind of jealous at first, because I was like, wow, I'm not really going to school right now. I'm still working. When people ask Jada, like, oh, what's going on in your life? You get to tell them, oh, I'm going to school right now. I'm studying this. I'm doing culinary arts. And then people look at me like, what are you doing, Jasmine? I'm like, oh, I'm still working. That's like, oh, you're not going to school or nothing. Nope, just working. But just from the emotional perspective, it did feel like something was missing, especially waking up, having to get ready to go to work, you not being there with me, everybody. And the more I tried to forget about it, people would be like, "Oh, where's Jada?" And I was like, "Oh, she's at school right now. She can't work right now." And then, as if that wasn't enough, I'd be getting home, you'd be getting home. We'd only see each other for like 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then you'd be going to work in the nights.
Yeah.
And I just felt like we didn't get to spend as much time as we used to spend, and that made me even more sad. But I just had to remember that it's not forever. We still have the weekends. We still have Saturday and Sunday. Monday, we didn't work Mondays. So I just had to look to keep those moments in my mind and know that I can't be selfish with you. Like, you have to go away. You have to learn what you're going to learn. It's going to make you better and happier. And that's what was getting me through.
Setting that expectation of what to come, when you're gonna hang out,
Yeah.
when you're gonna catch up and talk, and which is the same thing that we're saying in essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to navigate. It's not going to be as easy as you think it is. But if you have those spoken expectations, this is when we check in, this is when I'm going to see you, it makes it so much more easier, you know, and it makes it easier to navigate, and then it gives both people something to look forward to,
Right.
you know.
And then for me, when I went to New York, going back to what you were talking about in the beginning, how you said you were trying to like let me call and everything like that. I didn't like that.
What?
I felt like the first couple of days I was already starting to miss y'all. Like the third day, I was out with people and I just wanted to cry. I was like, I don't know these people. Nobody.
That time felt like it went by so slow. Like 3 days. I was like,
I thought
has it been a
took
week
forever.
already?
Yeah.
It did take forever.
And I was just so emotional. I'd get home in my hotel. I wouldn't cry or anything like that, but I would just be like, wow, it's so quiet. It's so lonely. And
And you didn't share a hotel with anybody. It was just you.
yeah, it was just me. And I'll just be waiting for my call from mommy. You barely even texted me. And when you did text me, it was, oh, hey, have fun. Enjoy yourself. I love you. And that was it. Then I'll call you and you talk to me and stuff, but then it would just kind of feel like you weren't really trying to talk or anything like that. So I was just like, okay, whatever. So I just called Jada, and I get what you're coming from now that you're saying that. You're trying to give me my space and everything like that.
Because it's hard striking the right balance with
Yeah.
your kids. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Case in point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know what you want. When we do too much as parents, we're doing too much. When we don't do enough, we're not doing enough. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
for you to find the balance. That's
sweet
your
spot,
job.
yeah.
No, finding the balance is not easy at all. So, and then there's what you think about your children. If it was Jada, I probably would have called a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But it was Jasmine, and I just felt like Jasmine was gonna go
Yeah.
conquer New York, right? I just
You
felt
conquered
like
it, though.
I felt like, and you did in a lot of ways,
Indeed.
you know. So you won prizes, you led people, you just did you did what I thought you would do, but I didn't think that you would have this emotional thing, you know. I was just like, Jasmine's gonna go, she's gonna talk to everybody, she's gonna lead people, she's just gonna find her footing, and it's gonna be fine. And I didn't want to get my feelings hurt, so I was like, I'm gonna give her space, and I'm just gonna count the days down. She got my little messages, and if she needs me, she know where to find me. And I'm just gonna count down. I'm just gonna wait. Like I think I did really, really good. Cause even when we were at the airport and we said we wasn't gonna cry.
Yeah.
Oh.
This one made me promise I wasn't gonna cry at the airport because we're gonna keep it together for Jasmine mom. And I was like, okay, cool, fine. I'm not gonna cry. I get to the airport. Who starts crying?
I tried. I held out for as long as I could.
And then I look over and I see both of them crying. And I'm like, I'm the only one not crying.
I don't know how you did it though.
I walked off. Y'all see me? I walked off. And this picture right here is evidence. You're gonna put a picture right here.
Oh, oh, okay.
You're
Like,
gonna
where's the picture?
insert picture
Oh, I
right
can't wait to see
here.
that picture.
I have it, guys. I have it on. I got it. We're gonna put it in here.
It was the most dramatic thing.
It's the most dramatic picture, and they
She's
look
gonna wait for a year.
horrible. Okay, so I'm gonna post it. They look horrible. And I was just looking at that. I walked away. I brushed my face off. I saw this other parent letting the child go, and she was having a little meltdown moment. And I just immersed myself in that. I was like, oh, I've come so far. Look at that. And then I came back over there, but I was looking at the two of y'all like,
And I wasn't gonna cry until Jada started crying.
oh Lord
Oh.
Jesus. I said, what's
You
wrong?
started everything.
Jada just stopped.
Sorry.
She just started crying. But but I did really good. I didn't cry.
You did really
I
good.
I didn't call and stalk you. You know, I did stalk your location a lot. And I would see you going to work. I would see when you're driving, coming back. I would just see the car moving or your phone moving or whatever it was. It
Little
just
dot.
be moving. That little dot be moving. But I think I had prayed so much. I had some experience from Danielle. We had already established check-in points, and I felt like I did all the things that prepared me to handle it well.
And those letters really helped. Those letters,
Really? Okay.
and I looked forward. I even thought about opening some of them ahead of time, but I didn't. But it gave me something to look forward to, something to expect, the encouragement, knowing that all these people that love me put their time into writing these letters for me. That really helped. And I still have those letters. I gotta frame them.
And then every night you would read them?
Yeah, every night I would read them. Well, no, every morning I would read them
Oh, okay.
before I go to work. And then I would set them on my drawer in the order of the dates. And then if I got lonely or something like that, I'll go back and reread them.
Aw.
Yeah.
Did you tell those people thanks?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That I wrote you because I didn't get no thanks, and I feel like I wrote 3 days work.
Did I not tell you thank you?
Oh yeah, you did. You did on the you did the night when I showed you, and then you did the next.
Did you tell me
There are
thank you?
2 and 2.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I don't know what Jonathan wrote.
You want to
Don't
know
worry
what
about
John
that.
Oh, okay.
She got a whole stack of them in envelopes.
Yeah, I still have all the letters.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. So hopefully this episode has helped you in somewhere. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
So the key thing is, you don't know how people are feeling unless you ask. You don't need to know the details to pray or do something to cheer them up. Set expectations with your parents when you're leaving home, and parents set expectations with your children.
And children set expectations with your siblings.
expectations with your siblings. Yay. It's all about communication, dialogue, and setting expectations so no one doesn't have these unmet expectations. And even if you're sad or you miss your family member, you know you have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Be considerate. And remember, what we've learned today was to be clear is to be kind.
Yay.
See
Thank
you
you,
on the
Mr. John.
next episode. Bye. Hi, my name is Marsha McClendon from the Me and My Dukes podcast. I guess I'm My Dukes. Let us know what your favorite takeaway from this episode was. We would love to hear from you. See you in the next podcast. Bye.